Hello, friends. I have a yoga program for you today. This is what we've been doing this month. This is January that I'm filming this in our Monday 6 p.m. class. So you're welcome to join us live Monday 6 p.m. That's on Zoom, and I'm happy to send you the link. Or you could do with me right now. If you have a roller, grab it. And then if you have either a flat band or a yoga strap or even a towel, and then if you have a loop band, we're going to use that. And then whatever weights, you might use 5s and 2s or 5s and 8s. We're going to do rows and a little overhead press, a little shoulder press. And if you don't have any of this equipment, that's cool too. You can do most of this with minimal gear, or you could probably even find something around your house for the weights. But let's start by rolling out our legs. So none of this should hurt. It might feel like, oh, that's interesting. I'm just coming down, up and down the front of my legs, and I go from my hips to the tops of my knees. I don't really roll over my knees on this thing. If you run out of room, just move yourself down the mat. So now I made it to the tops of my kneecaps. I could even boogie my hips a little bit to one side and go up and down. Boogie a little bit to the other side. Okay, now here's everybody's favorite, or maybe least favorite, your IT band, this tuxedo stripe down the side of your leg. So I'm starting just south of where that hip bone kind of sticks out. And again, I'm running down the side of my leg. You can use this leg to help you. Yeah, and I'm using my support system. I'm running out of room, so I just moved my roller down the mat. And if you find a little spot that's especially sticky, you can sneak up on it. I'm not spending too much time on any one spot. Second side, I could roll the whole length of my leg, or I could do little pieces at a time. Yeah, so this is just a little quick, fast, wake everything up. I'm going to turn around and sit on my roller. If you want a longer version of this, I do have a video that is just foam roller. I call it my foam roller top 10. So that's on my YouTube channel. Now I'm kind of leaning over here on one butt. So I'm in that meaty part of my hip, and I can do left and right. I can do north and south. I can make a little circle. And then I'm going to come over here on this other hip. So I'm in this part of my glutes. Yeah, I can do left and right, up and down. And then I'm going to keep boogieing down the backs of my legs. So we're kind of hitting hamstrings, quads, glutes. This one too, you could tilt your legs a little bit to one side. Easy does it. Waking up soft tissue. I'm coming down to my calves now. And we had nice sunny weather this week. Can you see my little palm tree socks? I put my palm tree socks on for our little January warm weather blast. It's been like 50 and sunny. And this one too, I could tilt a little bit to one side. I'm just working through waking up muscles. If I feel a little sticky spot, I'm going to back off, or maybe come right up next to that sticky spot and kind of nudge it. Okay, I'm going to keep boogieing, bring it all the way up and rest it under this ridge, my occipital ridge. And again, if any of this feels like, oh, this doesn't feel good, just stop. Take a little rest break. You can do a little yes. I could do a little no. And then I could do a little circle, figure 8, whatever feels good. And then I'm just going to keep boogieing down. Now my roller's under my upper back. I can do a little flex and extend, side bend, twist, flex and extend. I'm not spending too much time on any one spot. Coming down. If this feels comfortable to lounge back over your roller, you could certainly do so. And if you've got any kind of squirreliness with your low back, or if this just doesn't feel good on your back, stop, rest. I made it down to my lower ribs. I'm just going to come down to about here where my lower back and lower ribs. Yeah. Now the other thing we could do, this is a nice thing to do before or after class, is laying lengthwise on the roller. So we'll just come on here and breathe a little bit. And again, if you don't have a roller, just lay flat on your mat. Okay, I didn't give myself enough room. So I got to scoot way down to the end so that my head is supported. Take a big deep breath. Now this might be a nice rest position. Noticing your breath. Noticing all that soft tissue we just woke up. Legs, back, neck. Notice your feet on the floor. And then see if you can feel your pelvis widening and softening. Your ribs getting heavy and your shoulders nice and open, sesame. So this might be pretty intense, especially if you've been on the computer all day. If you need to prop up your hands, you could give your hands a little something to rest on. One more big deep breath. So that's a nice thing to do. If that's all you did with your roller was laid on it for a minute or two a day, that'd be a good use of your roller. Okay, now we got to do baby bear. So we're starting with our release work, which is the R in your R.O.S.S. So baby bear is a nice starting move that we do often in all of our weekly classes. And I'm not trying to make this into an ab thing or make it into anything. I'm just letting myself roll side to side. It might be a tiny little roll, because if I was inside a big beach ball or a barrel, I might be able to open one leg and flop all the way to one side. And I open my legs. I'm pulling a little bit with my arms. And then I flop. So that's our goal, is to be really floppy, floppy, floppy. Yeah, that's the baby bear. Take another big deep breath. How floppy can you make your neck? How floppy can you make your hips, your back, your shoulders? So we're going to do some core stuff after a while, but this ain't that. This is like loosen everything up, relax, relax. Okay, what's next on our list? We got our bridge. Yep. So now you can bring your feet to the ground. Take a big deep breath. See if you can feel all 10 toes and your heels resting on the ground. And then easy does it start to curl yourself up, your pelvis up. And I'm going for this length through the front of my hips, heavy ribs. So I'm not shoving my ribs or my belly up to the ceiling. Pretty tiny little bridge. We'll do 10 of these. That's one. Bridging up, bridging down. That's 2. 3. Okay, I'm going to count these out loud because I'm a notorious, horrible counter. That's 4. That's all right. Here's 5. We're halfway there. You can go faster or slower than me. I'm starting to feel a little work here. Hamstrings, glutes. 6. Long neck. 7. Make this real easy. We're still warming up. 8. And I'm not puffing my chest up or puffing my ribs up. I'm just pushing into my heels and cueing back here. 9. Here comes your last one. We'll hold. So whatever you want to do here, you could roll your head. You could wiggle. You could breathe into your belly and ribs. You could picture that length in the front of your hips like a plane taking off, like a jet engine. Yeah, so you're reaching this way. You could yawn. One more big deep breath. Again, now we have leg circles. I'm going to stabilize my pelvis. I'm going to leave my right leg on the ground, lift my left leg. 10 little circles. 1, 2. And I'm trying to not move my pelvis. 3, 4, 5. You could do this with a straight or straight-ish leg. 7, 8. I said I was going to count. I got to count. 9, 10. Now I'm going to reverse. So here's your bent leg option. 1, 2. These are pretty tiny little circles. 3, 4. I'm doing stabilization. My core is working. 6, 7, 8. So I'm not going for a big stretch. Last one. Now I'm going to leg number 2. This leg's going to stay put. Right leg. 10 little circles. 2, 3. I might even be able to pause at the top at my 12 o'clock. 6, 7, relax your neck. 8, relax your back. That's 10. Now I'm going to reverse. This is bent knee version 2. 3, this is my straight-legged version 4, which is a little bit harder to control. 6, 7, hugging's working. 8, if that's too much, go back to bent knee. Okay, that was our 10 and 10. If you want a whole video of the 5, I've got that up too. Fit Club members. Now we have cat and cow. This is spine, flexion, and extension. If you're comfortable on hands and knees, angry cat, push the ground away. Round your upper back. Let your head hang. Inhale, stretch the other direction. Let your ribs fall. Let your chest fall. Maybe look forward. I'll do 10 of these. That's 2. Angry cat. Push the ground away. Inhale, stretch. Let your shoulders move this. 3. So my whole spine gets to move. Even my neck. 4. My focus is my ribs. That's the stickiest spot on me. I'm trying to press my ribs up to the ceiling. Sink my ribs towards the ground. 5 to go. 6. And again, you could go faster or slower than what I'm showing. 7. Now make sure you're breathing. 8. And just notice where this feels easy and where there feels like kind of sticky spots. Last one. So there's your cat and cow. We got plank coming up now. I'm going to show you 2 versions. I'm going to get our timer going right now, and you could go knees down. Plank would look like so. Yeah, I'd call this the easiest version. We're going to go 1 minute, and we're already 10 seconds into our 1 minute. Your next most challenging version would be tucking your toes, lifting your knees. So I'm trying to make this straight line from my ear to my shoulder. You could argue that the forearm version is a little more challenging, but it's a little nicer if this hurts your wrists. So forearm version would be either knees down or straight-legged. Okay, so whichever of those plank variations is suitable for you for today. Now you don't have to stay here for a whole minute. If it starts to be too much, come down and take a rest. If you can hang with me for 1 minute, I'm going back to straight arms and legs. Last 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to boogie right into my downward facing dog. That might look like this: bent knees, bent elbows, or I might be able to stretch my arms and legs. And this is my first dog of the day. So it doesn't have to be this real extreme version. Eventually, I'm going to make a little triangle with my arms and legs straight, my spine in this neutral position, and my tail feathers up to the ceiling. But you could do some wiggling. You could bend and straighten your heels, or lower and lift, I should say. You could bend and straighten your knees. You could boogie from your plank to your dog. Yeah, so if you need a break, take a break. If you can stay with me for another 15 seconds. Yeah, one more big deep breath. Push the ground away. Maybe drop your heels. Okay, so that's our first dog of the day. Come down, take a little rest break if you need to. Maybe roll out your wrists, roll your shoulders, and then we'll come up to standing. And there's a couple of ways we can do that. I could walk back through my dog, walk my feet up. Yep, roll up like a little rag doll. Okay, now this chair pose, I'm going to step to the front of my mat. And it's like I'm going to sit back into a chair, and then I change my mind and stand up. So this one we'll do half a minute, boogieing through your parallel squat. I'll turn this way to show you what it looks like. And then we'll hold for 30 seconds. Yeah. So I've got my thumbs here in the front of my hips because I'm taking my thumbs and pushing my bum back and down. Your other option could be Arms out in front of you or arms overhead. Let's try holding. 1 minute. How low can you go in your parallel squat? Comfortably low. Maybe you can roll your shoulders up and down and back. Now, if you need to take your arms out, this could be a more suitable option for today. Maybe arms overhead. Spread your toes. Maybe open your mouth. Yawn. Relax your face. One more big inhale. Nice. Big exhale. Okay, come on up. Let's take a little twist break. So I like to do this at least a round or two of these twists at some point during our yoga class. Twisting. Man, you can't do too much spine twisting. Yeah. So good for your back. And this could be mostly your arms and shoulders. It could be your whole body. You come up on one toe or you lift your heel. So whatever feels good for your back, hips and shoulders. Take another big deep breath. Okay, find your weights that you're using. We're working our way into a little crescent lunge row combo, meaning I'm going to start back in the front of my mat, come down and have a seat in that parallel squat again. Now check out my torso. I'm going to keep it right where it is and just start to slide one leg back and then bring that leg back in. So basically 98% of my weight is on this front leg. Yeah, slide my left leg back. I'm doing my left. There's 4. Okay, I better count. 5. 10 is our magic number today. There's 6. So I'm feeling a little awareness in my right butt. My leg is working. 7, 8, 9. Hold this last one. We're going to row. I'm pulling on my lawnmower string with both elbows. 10 of these. 2. Now, if this feels too off balance, you could put your back heel on the ground. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, if you need a little rest break, take a rest break. And you can always pause me too and take a little rest break. I'm going to boogie right into side number 2. Right leg slides back for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take another big deep breath. 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold this last one. And we row. Squeezing shoulder blades. Chest stretch. 3, 4. So this weight should feel heavy but doable. 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm going to ditch my weights and revisit that plank down dog series. Yeah. So I might even stretch up, roll down, walk myself back to my plank. So you could take a couple little steps to get back there. So we'll just be here for 30 seconds for this round. But you can wiggle yourself forward and back. You could bend and straighten your knees, wiggle your head. If this hurts your wrist, come down to your forearm variation or knees down. Yeah. 2 more big deep breaths. And then make your way back to your downward facing dog. Theoretically, from my plank, all I have to do is lift my bum to be in my dog. But if you get back there and that feels too crowded, you could wiggle your feet around a little. You could move your hands. Yeah. So this dog might feel a little different now that we're revisiting it. Maybe you can get your knees a little straighter, your heels a little lower. 1 more big deep breath. And then do come on down, take a little rest break, whatever feels good. It might feel good to sit back on your heels or to lay flat on your belly or do a little rocking. And then come on up and we'll do our King Arthur. So for this one, I've got a smaller weight. You might have a 2 or a 5 or a soup can. And I'll show you what I mean by my King Arthur. This is my low lunge. My front knee is 90-ish. Back knee is about 90. And here's your front view. I'm trying to avoid this, where my hip is way height. So can I get my hip bones level? And you can play around with where this front foot is, but I'm going parallel, both hips point straight ahead. This is my down leg. That hand is going to do my press up. Yeah, so easy does it if you've had any shoulder stuff. You can do this with no weight, just as a range of motion exercise. Oh, am I counting? I'm counting. That's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I didn't say this before on the other side. Pad your knee if you need to. I have a pretty thick mat on top of a thick mat. Yes, if you've got any kind of funny business with your knee, you could roll up a towel or stick a little couch cushion. Okay, now my back leg, 90, 90. I'm on my second side now, 10 of these too. 3. 4, so same thing we just did, King Arthur, plus a little overhead press, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now we'll just quickly boogie through our plank. Our dog, you can walk yourself up, roll up through your spine. This next move I call the crab walk. If you have a loop band, grab it up. You could also hold on to your weights next to your legs. And if you need to sit down to put your band on, please do so. So if this makes you nervous standing and putting the band, but I'm bringing them up, what is that, in between my knee and my hip. And then I'm going to sit back in that low parallel squat. I'm going to boogie to my left. Does it look like I'm going to the right? Yeah. I'm going to give us a minute to play with this so then you can go fast or slow. What am I looking for here? Knees and ankles lined up. So I don't want to do this. I'm pushing against the band. When I run out of room, I just go back the other direction. So if you can stay low in that low parallel squat. Yeah. And you could get going a little faster if you can manage this parallel knee, hip, foot, ankle. And I'm also trying to not do this when my toes turn out and my knees go in. So everybody's lined up, looking straight ahead for the most part. Yeah. So I'm trying to give you some general guidelines as to what to look for. I don't like to do too much policing of like, oh, is your pinky finger in the exact right spot? That can feel frustrating. But especially like knee stuff like this. You want to make sure your knees aren't doing something that's going to hurt later. Okay, that was a minute. Oh, that flew by. Now grab your flat band or your towel. We're going to do a little balance. And if you have a dining chair or your roller nearby, this will help to have something to put your finger on. And you don't have to worry so much about your balance as you're doing this move. I'm going to step on my thing, whatever my thing is. Yeah, strap, band, towel. And I'm just going to lift and lower this leg. So we're going to do a couple things on one leg, and then we'll switch sides. Lift and lower. And lift and lower. And then find a comfortable spot to hang out. And we'll hang out here. This might be knee height, your foot. It might be hip height. Yeah, breathe. Now imagine you could lift the top of your head to the ceiling or yawn. So I don't want to do this, what I call the pooping dog. I want to get tall, 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 and then bring your leg out to the side. Just experiment with this. What does this feel like to bring your leg a little bit to the side? Nice. One more. And this next one will come out and hold. Yeah. So I'm using my leg muscles. I'm using this leg, my standing leg. If you want to test the waters, can you take your hands off? Look, Mom, no hands. Stretch your foot, either flex it or point your toes. Do something. Tighten up this leg muscle. Breathe. One more big deep breath. Okay, come on down and rest. Whew. So we'll do this whole thing on the other side. Strap now my second side is my left foot. And, oh, and here's a tip. If you keep your little thing a little in front of you, it'll keep you from ending up doing this weird rib thing where you jut your ribs out. Yeah. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. And you might not need your little balance buddy, but you could have it there just in case. This one will hold. So you decide what feels like a good height. Can you get taller? Can you pull your belly in? Yawn. Nice, and then we'll go out to the side. Out and in. I'm going to see if I can keep both hip bones, belly button, chest facing forward. As I bring my leg to the side. Now here's our little test. The waters. Maybe take your band away. You could flex your foot, flex your hands. You could stretch your toes. One more big deep breath. Nice. Come on down. Shake out your legs. So this yoga dancer, you might comfortably be able to grab your foot. If you're not able to do that, this could be a nice starting position. This is a more active move where I'm tensing up my hamstring. I'm thinking of lengthening the front of my leg. So this might be all I do. Let me caution you against this. Knee forward, hip height. So I'd rather see this than a ginched up thing where I grab a hold of my leg, but my torso is all. What do I mean by ginched up? I'll show you here in a second. Now I could make my arm longer if you struggle with grabbing your foot by strapping your foot. Yeah. So that would be a way to get that feeling of your foot coming further behind you or closer to your bum. If this feels comfortable for you to grab your foot, that's where we're headed. Yeah. Button your vest. Long low back. And then maybe your leg can go a little back. So I'm turned a little bit. I'm sort of on the 45-degree angle. Yeah. When I do the other side, I'll turn exactly straight forward to show you what that looks like. Yeah. Ooh, this one too, we could do a little test. Can you take your hand up? Oh, that's hard. Ooh, so it should feel almost a little bit crampy back here in your hamstring. Maybe take both hands off. One more big deep breath. Okay, come on down, shake out your legs. So this idea of usable flexibility, right? Can I hold these positions versus just like getting myself in there and cranking with my hand? Okay, here's your straight on version. So my foot basically disappears right behind me. Now here's the bad version, pinching my hip, doing something weird. So this might be a good starting point. Trying to get this knee to 90. Yeah. If you need a little help getting a hold of your foot, you could strap your foot, bring your leg still right back behind you. Yeah, and this is nicer on your shoulder too. If you're able to do this quad stretch, holding your foot. This is the next part. So when I get into this position, I am going to start to roll this shoulder nice and open, sesame. I'm basically still hiding this foot right behind me. Yeah, let's do our little test the waters here. Take one more big deep breath and see if you can keep your leg pretty much where it was. Ooh, let go. Can you keep that bent knee position? One more big inhale. Big exhale. Nice. Come on down. Ooh, shake out your legs. So if you wanted to stretch this program out, you could revisit that plank, dog. We did our chair into our lunge, which is our crescent lunge, basically. and our R.O.S.S. I'm going to wrap this up by doing our seated twist, and I want to save enough time to take you through a guided meditation. So if you wanted to make this a longer workout, you can go back through any of those moves that you love. Yeah. Okay, sit up nice and tall. This is the last of our 5. If you need something under your hips, go find a bolster, yoga block, couch cushion, so that you're not starting your twist like this. Y'all, sometimes just elevating your hips a little will do the trick. I pulled one knee in. I'm going to use my tummy muscles to start my twist. Then I can either grab this arm, I can rest this hand. I might even do a little wedgie here with this arm. And then my head can turn and look. Take another big deep breath. Okay, so we got some nice leg strength and standing balance with our chair and our lunge and our King Arthur. We got some nice upper bottom back with our plank, our dog, our R.O.S.S, and that little shoulder press. Come on back to center. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Now we got side number 2. Sit up nice and tall. Turn using your torso first. Then you might grab a hold of your leg or use this hand as a little kickstand. Use a little release work. I'm calling our leg circle our organization exercise. And then a lot of strength and balance. And then this is one of our stretches. Get it? R.O.S.S, release, organize, strengthen, and stretch. So when you're doing your home program, if you've got a day where everything feels really tight, you might do more stretching. If you have a day where you feel like you haven't moved as much, you might do some more of the strength exercises. Let's do Propeller. This has become one of my favorite moves because it's a lot of stuff I'm stretching. I could keep my elbow and knee bent and bring my arm forward and leg back. Leg forward and arm back. Or I could stretch my arm and leg. Long and long. So I could just boogie front and back. Or if one of these spots feels especially good, you could hang out there and hold for a breath or 2. You can roll onto your face, roll onto the back of your head. You could play with pointing your foot or flexing your foot. And then we'll switch and do side number 2. So option to do bent knee, bent elbow, arm forward, leg back, leg forward, arm back. Or I could stretch my arm and leg. So this should feel like, wee, not like, ugh, this is pain and suffering. Unless you hate stretching. I have a couple ladies that hate stretching. I don't know what to tell you then. Okay, so if one of these spots feels good, you could hang out in the spot that feels good. Maybe one of those twists. Oh yeah, I got a little tight armpit today. Let's see if I can work this out. A couple more of these front and back. And then if there's any other wiggling you want to do, now's your chance. You could go, oh, let's revisit our baby bear. And then we'll do our breathing exercise. Okay, so just notice, this is what we very, very first started with. Remember this? Yeah, everybody loves the baby bear. So let's try flopping and flopping. Does it feel any floppier now? Probably warm after doing some work. Hopefully it doesn't feel stickier. One more each side. And then if this feels nice to just stay right here, you could hang out here. If you want to prop up something under your knees or go put your feet on the couch or the bed, or you could prop up your head. I'm going to sit up just to talk to you, but you could find a rest position. Maybe sitting in an armchair is the ticket. So we're just going to play with a few minutes of breathing exercises. Yeah, take a big inhale. Big exhale. One more of those. Big inhale. Exhale, you can make some noise if you'd like. Yeah. And let's do our progressive relaxation. So I'm going to start with my hands. I'm going to make fists. I'm going to tense up my forearms, tense my biceps, my triceps, maybe tense up my shoulders. More big inhale. As you exhale, totally relax your arms, your hands, let them just flop. And then move all the way down to your feet. Tense up your toes, your lower legs. Pull up on your knees, tense your quads, your hamstrings, your butt. Big inhale. Exhale, totally relax your legs, your feet, your hips. And then take another big inhale. Tense up your belly, your back, your neck, your face, your arms and hands, your whole body, your scalp. Exhale, release. And feel the support from the furniture or the floor. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable with your eyes closed. And just start to notice your breath coming and going. And you might even say to yourself, breathing in and breathing out. And we've been playing around this month with what I'm calling a circular breath, or connecting my inhale and exhale. So take one more natural or normal breath. And then the next time you inhale, notice where your inhale stops. Can you start right up with your exhale without a pause? And then notice where your exhale stops, because you start your next inhale. So there's no pause between your inhale and your exhale and your next inhale. So if picturing a loop or a circle or an infinity sign or the tide coming and going, whatever helps you think of this continuous breath, inhaling and exhaling. And just try a few more rounds of this. If this feels stressful or if it feels like you're going to hyperventilate, just go back to your normal breathing pattern, whatever that is. And then sometimes when we're trying to focus on one thing, like our breath, we might feel distracted by our thoughts or a physical sensation, or maybe a sound inside your room or outside of your room. So for just a moment, release your focus on your breath and just notice any thoughts or feelings or sounds, noticing them without creating a story, good or bad, right or wrong. So you might say clock ticking or dog barking or street traffic. Maybe you have a to-do list banging around inside your head. And then can all these things still be happening in the background as we focus once more on our breath? If that loop breath feels comfortable, you can go back to that. Connecting your inhale and your exhale. So that's something you could continue to practice, is regaining your focus, because it's completely normal for your brain to start to wander off. And where that muscle, that focused muscle, gets strengthened is your continual bringing yourself back to whatever it is, if it's your mantra or your breath. So each time you practice this, it's a success, whether you do it exactly right or not, right in air quotes. So there is no right or wrong. You're doing it. It's happening. You get an A+ for showing up and giving it a shot today. You're welcome to continue resting here as long as you like. When you're ready to come back into the room, you might wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, maybe you roll your head around. Maybe yawn or stretch. Okay, if you have not checked out our Monday 6 p.m. yoga, you are welcome to join us. Call me or email me. I'll send you the code. And let me know what you think about this yoga program. We've got yoga with a little release work and some strength exercises mixed in. Yeah. Okay, see you soon.